There, we got to bring on our next guest here, Mark Zetzer. How are you, Mark? Salute to you, man. I feel like I got to salute you after watching your video and everything. It's like you're out there on the beach. We're going to play that here in a second. So you're going to run for Congressional District 14, it sounds like. So congratulations on that. Let me just see here. It says that you're a former Shaker Heights tax fighter, GOP nominee in Ohio's 11th Congressional District. That's what you were running for previously. Zetzer announced his candidacy for Congress in a striking video, which we have to play. He hoists a War of 1812 battle flag above the breezy Lake Erie beach and speaks metaphorically about fighting for America first. So what gave you the idea of this? And let me put this up here for a second. That is you out there. I really think it's a clever idea. So you're out there on the beach, and you got a flag, and you're going to hoist everything. What was the idea? What was the idea behind that? How did that come to mind?
Well, originally, the midterm in the 2026 being the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, I'm looking for a kind of original principle theme. And then as I'm approaching announcement, I realized, we're approaching on September 10th, and that's the anniversary of the Battle of Lake Erie. And the "Don't Give Up the Ship" slogan is very similar to me as "Don't Tread on Me." And so I thought, wow, that's going to be real dramatic. You know, it's a good time of the year to be on the beach. You can get a nice breeze. You can catch the wind. It'll lift up the flag. It'll be very dramatic. I was out there actually 3 days doing takes, and I couldn't get everything to come together. I couldn't get it all to come together. The wind, the waves, the lighting, the sound, everything. And finally, I got one good take, and then the sun dipped below the clouds, and I flubbed my lines. I don't know if you could tell. Could you tell I flubbed my lines a little bit?
Yeah, let's play this here a second. Let's play a little bit of it here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Republican Mark Zetzer, and I'm at Mentor Headlands Beach. Across Lake Erie is Canada. And to the south is Ohio's 14th Congressional District.
Let's talk about that a second.
I'm here to remember.
Since that is what you're going after, this 14th Congressional District here. You got Lake County, Ashtabula, right along the lake there, which is really nice, and you're out there along the beach, which is part of it. Geauga, Trumbull, and Portage County. So you kind of got everything. You got some city life, you got the suburban life, and you've got some definitely some rural territory in there as well. But that's a nice area, that District 14. I love that.
I'm here to remember this day when the American Navy defeated and captured the British fleet in the Battle of Lake Erie.
So the Battle of Lake Erie, which again, I kind of like, it's hard to realize that we had a battle right there on Lake Erie, like right around Put-in Bay, those islands, right? It's kind of amazing. I think we forget about that, but yeah, there was an actual battle that was taking place on Lake Erie.
The nearby town of Perry, Ohio, is named after Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry, who led the American sailors to victory in the War of 1812.
So you had to do three.
Their courage and sacrifice can inspire us today in our own.
You had to do 3 takes and right there on the beach with the microphone and all that kind of stuff. And
principal photography, 3 different days.
3 different days, huh? I'll play a little
War of Independence.
I think the background
The feds in Washington, D.C. tax and control nearly everything we do. And American families, like mine, can barely get by.
And the waves and everything. It's a really cool video and everything. I don't know if you guys I don't know if you ever saw that before, Brian. That's pretty cool. The way
I've never seen that.
Flag and everything like that. Yeah. But now
I'd say welcome, Mark.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Good luck in that race. I do have some questions, though.
Go ahead.
Mark, how long have you lived in the area?
About 6 years. Mainly raised my family in Shaker Heights in Cuyahoga County. Was there about 25 years. Finally got taxed out and had to leave. I actually tried to run as a conservative, got into politics beginning in 2012, and then ended up not only running the taxpayers group, but getting nominated for city council and then nominated for Congress. And 2 years later, and I obviously couldn't win that race, but at least the Republicans had a candidate. The year before, the cycle before, they had none. And I'm like, why are Republicans abandoning the urban areas and the inner suburbs? They're the ones with the solutions, cut taxes and regulations. And we were battling the property taxes back then, and we never thought of the brilliant idea, hey, why don't we just get rid of this property tax altogether? We were just playing defense, I mean, every levy in Shaker is an increase. And every 2 years, they got a new levy. And so being lower middle class, we were just being taxed out of our home. And I had to become political just to get involved. And boy, the day I immediately got hit with a cease and desist letter from the Shaker Heights City Law Department. I'm like, wow, I didn't expect this. But
and that was for you speaking out against property taxes, huh?
Well, actually, the first issue was an income tax increase. But then the next one was property tax, 2 property tax issues, school and library, and then the city council. I'm by far the only conservative out of 5 candidates, and they're running people against me, and it's just ridiculous. And they keep losing population, they keep losing businesses. I don't know. It's all funded by tax. So much of it's funded by taxpayer money.
Shaker is the worst, right up there with Cleveland Heights, where I'm at. Cleveland Heights is too. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy out there. I'm bringing the commish here, John Pleshnik. He's part of your district there. He's a Lake County commissioner, so he's part of District 14. And he knows a lot about running for office. So what's your thoughts, John, or any questions?
Well, I personally prefer a certain John Wick parody, although it was a fun video.
Maybe that'll be the next one.
Have to dig that one up. Yeah, he did do a John Wick parody. It was very good. Right.
Oh, you did, John?
Yes,
John Pleshnik did. Yeah. I'll have to dig that up. Have to dig it up, and we'll play it.
That's great.
Let me ask you a question, Mark. When you're going up against Dave Joyce, and so how would you compare and contrast yourself with Dave Joyce? What is some of the shortfallings for him that you would feel that people should be voting for you? He's one of the least conservative Republicans in the House. His voting record is maybe half the time he'll vote with conservatives and with Republicans. And I announced an exploratory committee in April, and actually went out to all 5 counties and talked to people. And most people are disappointed in Dave Joyce. And it's a resigned disappointment because they don't think anybody can challenge him. A friend and family lawyer, Matt Lynch, challenged him twice when Joyce got back in. It was like 2014, 2016. Matt Lynch and I are actually candidates together during the primary election. In 2014, we frequently saw each other on the campaign trail, and of course he lost. I won unopposed, but so I know Matt Lynch fairly well, and I was disappointed that he didn't win. I'm not sure why. We're going to meet and talk strategy here soon, but Dave Joyce is a classic rhino. He's one of the worst in the Republicans in the House. The most recent is he voted against the Republicans trying to censure a congresswoman out in New Jersey. I don't know if you know that story. That was only about a month ago. And she actually was arrested for assaulting a federal ICE officer and preventing an arrest of the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. And what is she doing in the street committing violence? I mean, she's a member of Congress. It baffles me. She's obviously a Marxist, and she could actually petition Kristi Noem, the head of Homeland Security. So all the Republicans did was just, hey, we're going to
kick her off the Homeland Security Committee. Why not? She doesn't even understand. She's fighting her own people that she oversees on the streets who work for Homeland Security. It just baffles me. And so it's a no-brainer. It wasn't really extreme at all to just remove her from the committee. And Dave Joyce couldn't even do that. He voted against the Republicans to cover for Marxists. And that's not the only time.
Well, I'll tell you what my impression of Dave Joyce is that he's one of those 400 Congress people that you never hear about. You never see. They show up to vote and they go home. But that's it. You never know the guy was a congressman. It's funny because you got 438 Congress people, and you only see the same ones on TV who are putting forth a bill. The rest, they got the easiest job in the world. Show up, vote, go home, and vote the way that you're told to vote and stuff. But what about closer to home? I don't also get the impression that Dave's been really active in those counties. I pulled up some information on District 14. First of all, it's Republican by 9 points, which is pretty good. So if you do win the primary, you're pretty much going to win the general election. But people had problems with the cost of groceries, and these are more, issues that hit the person directly in the pocketbook. It's so important to them. Housing affordability, like with the property tax and everything, that was real huge. Immigration, that was big. That's the North Coast right there. You got people coming in across Lake Erie, believe it or not. Crime was a big one. And then, increasing manufacturing and jobs and healthcare and energy and stuff like that. When it comes to looking at the people directly, the citizens in that district, how would you reach out to them?
Definitely get out there and drive and go to these places. I've been to many events. I've only seen Dave Joyce at one of them, and I very friendly wanted to meet him and talk to him, and he kept avoiding me, and I tried to go up to him at least 3 times. That was in Ashtabula. I've posted on his social. I comment on his social posts, and a lot of it's not. I'm trying to be fair. If he votes the way I want him to. I thank him and I comment on it. And this session, he's actually voting a little better. But I'm not here to fight. I'll give credit where credit's due. But definitely looking past through his 12 years now in Congress, and he's had some really bad votes. But I have the time. I'm semi-retired. I'm actually a senior myself, believe it or not. I'm 62 years old, and it's a really big struggle to pay the bills. I'm probably going to have to go back to work at some point if I don't get elected to Congress. But I got the time to go out. I've been to so many events in the last, since April and even before, and now I'm really going to be pushing and getting out there. I'll be able to canvass. I'll be able to go to political events, public events, and I'm going to go full steam all the way into the May 5th election.
Absolutely. I'll go around the horn here. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, as far as Dave Joyce is concerned, I would agree. I've had a hard time. I don't think I've ever been to an event in Lake County where I've seen Dave Joyce, even seen him or heard him, speak on any issues. I do get his email where, he's applauding himself for doing all sorts of wonderful things, but I think we need some new blood in our elected offices here in Ohio, and I wish Mark great success. Hopefully, we can meet him on the campaign trail and do what we can to help him get his message out, and we offer that to you, Mark.
Oh, thanks a lot, Brian. I appreciate that. Definitely want to get out there, and he's not. My background is in marketing and advertising. I've worked in the private sector for 48 years, and my goal is my gosh, what an amazing bully pulpit you have being in Congress. I would use it to the hilt. Be cinematic, make videos, get out to the public the message of liberty, of prosperity. It's just not. The Republicans haven't been too good about that. The left seems to be the masters of propaganda. but I wouldn't want to push propaganda or lies. I want to push the truth. Like, hey, this is America. If we have liberty, we have prosperity. What makes America great is liberty. And liberty, the blessings of liberty are abundance, human flourishing, the baby boom. Remember that? I'm one of the last of the baby boom generation. I was born in 1963. I grew up with kids everywhere. And I just don't see that anymore. And I've got 3 Gen Z kids, and they're concerned about their opportunities.
Yeah, John,
I would agree with that completely, Mark.
Absolutely, yeah.
There is we've been saying that on the whole property tax issue, that we think it's a freedom and liberty issue, and we want to make sure that we can preserve freedom and liberty for future generations. And if home ownership, we feel, is the foundation of that freedom and liberty, and our politicians want to take it away. And I'd like to see Congressman Joyce be a little more, vocal. How does he really, feel about this, people being priced out of their homes? I know he's at the federal level, but I'd like to see a little more compassion out of Dave Joyce, for his constituents. I don't see it.
He's done well for himself as a public sector employee, and become a multimillionaire while in office. I don't think he votes for every spending bill. I've noticed that. He'll vote for no matter how many trillions of dollars it is. And then if the Republicans submit amendments to cut some of it, usually the cuts are not much, at most maybe $1 billion or $2 billion. Joyce always votes against any cut in any spending bill, so I don't think he understands the struggles. I'm been on the edge my whole life, just barely struggling, working multiple jobs, and barely struggling to get by. Unfortunately, it's weird. It's like, I did everything right. I went to college, worked hard, and just can't barely raise 3 kids. When my dad, we had one income in my family growing up, and he raised 3 kids, and we lived pretty well, except obviously in the 1970s, I saw my family standard of living decline, and that's when I also got involved in politics as a young teenager, just because of the inflation. And my parents were very hopeful that they could elect Ronald Reagan, if not in not in 1976, but in 1980. And I actually canvassed Ronald Reagan with my Young Republicans Club in 1980. I couldn't even vote yet, but I was going into Democrat factory worker neighborhoods in my factory town of Anderson, Indiana, where I grew up, and those were the Reagan Democrats, and he won more states than Trump did. Same slogan too, by the way: "Make America Great Again." Reagan had.
Excellent. Let's go to Kamish. Kamish, you have a question?
Well, I would ask what your position is on property taxes, because I think we need to start putting every elected official, every candidate on the spot. We need a list. Are you for ever increasing property taxes that are going to tax our seniors and frankly all of us out of their homes? Or are you for abolishing property taxes? I think we need to start holding people to account. So how are you going to vote come November 2026 when we put this on the ballot?
Well, John, first of all, I want to say it's great to meet you, because you're really a hero of mine. And because this is how I got my start most recently in politics. And it was against the property tax and the levies. And, our thing was, we're trying to make it affordable. And one of our slogans on our yard sign was, don't cut costs, not education. Cut costs, not service. Just like you were talking about, just as I zoomed in here. And that's exactly what those were our same slogans. Like, look, you serve us. You need to figure it out. You just can't keep pushing tax increases and cost increases onto the people you work for. And they can do it. They can figure it out. And yeah, there's going to need to be cuts in staff, cuts in administrators, cuts in overhead, consolidation. Same thing that happens in the private sector. I've been laid off, multiple times over my long career in the private sector. It's just part of life. Our job isn't to provide jobs. It's not a jobs program. That's not why we pay in taxes. So I would, absolutely get rid of the property tax. They can figure out a way, and definitely cut costs. But it's doable. And I feel what I've been through, I wouldn't ask for anything more than what I've been through, and I've survived. And life throws you curveballs, and you just you keep swinging.
I'm going to bring Jonathan in. Jonathan, go ahead. I'm sure you have a question.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you noticed that I snuck in here on vMix on our other platform. So I am no longer behind the wheel. Mark, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. So Mark Zetzer is not going to throw the punches, and I appreciate that. He is a fighter from everything that I've gotten to know about him, but he's a courteous and kind fighter. Well, I'm going to be the throw the punches fighter. And Joe mentioned that a lot of people think of Dave Joyce as sort of off the radar and nobody really notices him. And that's probably partly true. But there is a huge span of people who absolutely notice Dave Joyce. And that's the type of people that follow things like Pelosi Tracker. And I don't know if you know this, our listening audience, but Dave Joyce recently hit number 3 on our elected representatives hitting these meteoric returns on their investment portfolio. And that goes back to that whole insider trading issue. There is concern swirling around Dave Joyce and his political dealings and his business, his trade platform, his stock trading, and what information he has when. I don't like any of it. And if you're not one of those people like me that likes to follow the money, I will point out the John Birch Society, New American, releases a Freedom Index. I like the Freedom Index because I happen to like John Birch Society. They're one of many that do this tracking of politicians. Well, I'll let you know that his lifetime score is 49%. If 100% is a America First constitutional conservative, Dave Joyce isn't even at 50% lifetime. There are some years where his voting record is at 37%. 2 years, he hit a low, a deplorable, horrendous, heinous low of 37%. That means that most of the time he is voting in complete opposition to our Constitution. That's awful stuff. He is the type of person, unfortunately, that has learned to sort of game the system and schmooze the right people to continue to get reelected. My hope is that places like Lake County retool their Republican Party, get a fresh new focus on America First, the Trump mandate that we sent to D.C., and all of the things that have nothing to do with Dave Joyce and people like him. The last thing I'm going to say is that I have John Plechnik's contact information. I'm going to be finding out from Plechnik, or he's going to tell us here live on the air, how to do that naming thing at the zoo. Because my first thought while I was driving, when John Plechnik alerted us to the possibility of naming the fresh, newly born rhino at the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo, was Dave Joyce. I want to name that rhino Dave Joyce. John, can you tell us how to do that, or send me a message and let me know how to submit the name Dave Joyce?
Oh my God.
Rhino.
Right.
And
my
Well, wait a minute. Does Mark
Mark
would probably
Zetzer.
approve of that? Yeah, Mark would probably approve of it.
Yep.
So, Mark, in closing here, give us your closing campaign speech and why we should vote for you and everything. And thanks a lot for coming on, and wish you the best of luck. And that's going to be a tough uphill battle, but hey, just like Commodore Perry, you just keep fighting.
Right,
You never know what might happen, right? So, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's the flag right here. I don't know if you can see it. Don't give up the ship. I know it seems, the government is, the federal government is 37 trillion in debt. Gold and silver are spiraling at new heights, which it makes me worry that the currency is in trouble. So these are rough times, and I think you just don't give up. And people think, Dave Joyce has got $3 million in his campaign war chest. I can't even report yet to the FEC because haven't even reached the $5,000 threshold. But you know what? I'm not going to give up because I know I've got the skills and the talents and the time and the energy and the interest to make a go of it. And more and more people I'm meeting, they're like, oh, great, I'm glad there's going to be a competitor to Dave Joyce. And there's also rumors that Dave Joyce doesn't really want to run another term, and that he wants to be a federal judge, and that he may appoint somebody just like he was appointed. I don't know if you were aware, in 2012, Steve LaTourette won the primary, the Republican primary, and then he resigned and appointed Dave Joyce, and Dave Joyce didn't have to run in a primary as a challenger, ever. He just kind of walked in. So I want to give him a run for his money and use everything at my disposal, every media, and because I have the ability to do something that might get some viral content, like that video.
Well, good luck. I mean, politics is tough. It's, but I do commend you for throwing your hat in the ring and going up against Dave, and let's just hope for the best. But really, really appreciate it. That's the biggest thing. You just got to take action, like you're doing, and if you don't take action, you can't win. So you put the effort and everything, and you just might. But well, thanks a lot. Thank you again, and
thank you, Mark.
Anything new on your horizons with the campaign, let us know. We'll get you right back on. We'll talk about it, okay?
Oh, thanks, great. I hope to. Yeah, my pleasure.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mark. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Good night.
Have a good
night. Good night.